Good evening, Jane. Wanted to take a moment here and review the lesson we had the other day. Now, this is attempt number 3 of trying to get back at you and sending this to you. Have had issues and so forth, but let's see if this can go through, and we'll go over the same thing that we did the other day. Now, as we take a look at this and as we get into this, the whole purpose of our lesson today was trying to get a little more consistency in the golf swing, a little more repetition, and the frequency of it you hit, that it's the same thing, and a little bit make it a little bit easier for you as well. So when we take a look at, we're going to go to the left-hand side here and take a look at your swing. Now, as we watch this, what I want to make apparent to you and what I want to show you here is a couple things. And I'm going to kind of draw a little circle around the head here. Right? Hold on, let me redo that here. But try to get in a little better position of where our head is here in relation to, one, our posture and our spine. Here we go here. And then, consequently, we're going to draw a line straight down right through here. And this is what this represents is going to be a position of trying to keep the club coming back, kind of swinging with our hands and the club in front of our body. Now, when I say that, we're going to use a model. Now, when we use a model here, we're going to use Suzanne Peterson. And what I like to show with Suzanne is we're going to do a similar type of thing with Suzanne here and kind of show you a similar type of position, back and forth. Here we are here. So you can see when we compare this, your postures are very similar to one another. When we draw a straight line down, this is where it's going to vary just a little bit different. So as we go to take the club back, now with yourself here, one thing I want to show you here is my ability not to do the camera correctly. But let's redo it. Here we go here. Back up. And then back down. Alright. So what I want to show you is as you take the club down, you kind of watch the head there, but watch the hands and the club. You can see initially how the club face is a little closed as we take the club back here. But primarily, we can see how the club initially, as it goes back, starts down the line, but initially starts to go behind our body. We can just kind of follow it here. That left shoulder kind of dips down a little, starts to dip down a little bit. And if you think about it, just by balance of the body, our positioning of our body, if our hands start to go around our body, the club starts to go around our body, our spine will tilt. Our hands, our arms will start to go around and starts dragging our posture of our body back around. So what happens here is we go back here, we start to see the club go around our body. When we initially see the club, here we are here, we can notice one thing. We can see right here as the club is going up right at about chest high, we can see that initially the hands are a little bit in front, but not all the way. But as the hands go up further, you can see how the hands are behind the body. Now let's watch Suzanne here. Now as Suzanne starts to take the club back, you can see one thing here that worked out really well is she has a little line here of a club, being able to take the club down this line. Then she takes the club up. Now as she takes the club up, you can see how the club here, initially, hands are still, and I'm going to bring you back down here. Here's your club head. Here's her club head. Right here, still in front of her body. Hands are still in front of the body. Right here. Big difference. Now, she starts to take the club up. You can see how the hands still a little bit in front of the body. But you see as the club goes up, hands go up. They're starting to go up a little bit more up over this right shoulder. Whereas with yours, very similar positions in this key right here. But what happens, Suzanne goes up higher and goes up over this right shoulder. Whereas we turn around our body. So a lot of times when we see this, there's an obstacle or there's a position why we can't swing up and around. I mean, up and up to the top of the golf swing, but because women are built different, sometimes because of an upper region maybe being larger, we see the club go around the body. Now, in this case here, what we want to see with yourself is we want to see a little position of where the hands go up. We come down and through. Hands, instead of the hands going around the body, the hands will go back up, just like we see with Suzanne here. You can see her hands come right back into the spot. And you do well here by doing it. So as you can see here, the one great thing that you do is you do turn around your body is that your hands come back or try to come back within a similar position, because you can see how the hands, as they come down through that same circle, down through, but you know, as we come through, we kind of flip it down through and then around our body. Well, let's work on one thing at a time. So initially, what we worked on in this lesson, now I did a big review there. What we worked on in this lesson, we're going to go back over here and go back to what we initially worked on. I kind of set up a couple things. One, we worked on the ball position, getting a little bit more centered with the iron. Set up a path here for you. Wrong thing. There, but set up a path here for you here and here. So as you take the club back, I want you to hit that ball as the club goes back. I want you to hit the ball going back, and then I want you almost to feel like as the club gets about halfway up, what you're going to find here as we go further, you can kind of watch yourself in the same position we talked here. But as soon as we hit the ball here, this is our first position to think of the club going up. Okay. Now, as we see here, big difference between these two positions, night and day. Now, what we initially did just in this case here is we created just a little more extension, a little more length to the path of our golf swing, or the length of the club going back as you try to take it to the top of your golf swing. Now, as we see here, we initially see that there is a big difference in the path or the directions the club is facing. You see the club head is still in front of our body. And from here, what we see now is we see the club go up. And that's what we want to see here. See the club go up and over that right shoulder. That's what we're wanting to see. We're up and over that right shoulder. Look at the difference in these two positions at the top of your golf swing. Night and day difference, Jane. I think that is just great positioning at the top. You know, a much better. Hands are a little more in front of our body. Better posture as you turn to the top here. Everything. You can clearly see on this left-hand side where the hands are swinging around the body, taking the club around the body. Whereas here the club and the hands are turning up, keeping the hands in front of the body. Now, by doing this, much better position. Club's in a much better position at the top of the swing. Don't quite see it here on the right, but the club head's closed at the top. Here, this club head is pointing down the target line. As we swing down then, the hands come down. I had you pause here. And all I initially did is just had you swing up to the top. So these are great practice moves. Just swinging up to the top and feeling that position. So you could do this at the house very simply by just swinging, pushing that ball back, doing it in the house, and then swinging up over that right shoulder. Sometimes I tell people, we think about this, the left thumb there as kind of a hitchhiking position, swinging it up and over that left shoulder. But that's all we're doing here. Look at, we feel the rotation of the club going up and over that right shoulder. Big difference there, Jay. And great swings here, as we look at this. So we'll go to the next frame. You kind of see this, big difference in ball contact, big difference as we take it up. Big difference in our swing. Night and day. Great positioning. And this swing on the right-hand side, after 10 or 15 swings we did. It wasn't very many swings, and you were grasping that concept, grasping that position of where we wanted to see it at the top. And I think that was a great job. We're up, club. You see the club starting to go back, and you're doing it. But initially, and I'll give you this here. Obviously, I'd like to see a little bit straighter. But what you did do is you got it up over that right shoulder. Down, we start seeing a little bit more consistent ball flight and ball position. And ideally, that's what we want to see time after time. So what I want you to do here, Jane, is setting up the path here like we see here, push it back, but try to get the club, what you can do, let's set a golf bag up here. By setting a golf bag up right here, set it up back about a foot, 2 feet back away from that right foot, but set it up so that as you go back, you have an opportunity to hit that bag. I want it in line with your body. So when I say this, I literally want that golf bag right here. So that if you go up, look what happens. You hit that golf bag going up. By this here, compared to obviously over here on the left-hand side, if the golf bag was right here, what we would see, you'd knock the golf bag over before you even got it halfway up. Whereas here, this is a much better position, but initially I want you getting the extension going back and it turning up over the right shoulder. Now, if you have any questions here, Jane, by all means, I want you to give me a call. 314-724-6539, or shoot me an email, michaelwyattgolf@gmail.com. If not, also let me know in our next lesson. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day now.